Today, I want to share with you three power moves to help you in dealing with a narcissistic ex or negotiating with or just getting by with parallel parenting. These are three moves that are designed to trigger them in some way, which can help in evidence gathering. It can also help you to feel more powerful and to come across better in the court process. So the first one is whenever you show respect for someone else, whether that be the judge, the CAFCAS officer, your new partner, any time you show respect for anyone else, it triggers their inferiority anxiety. That can result in them saying something, then being dysregulated. And this is when you start to reveal the ghost, which is the analogy that I use with them, is because they keep this calm composure most of the time. But when you use these power moves, you can really get under the skin. And why is that useful? It's useful because they're trying to portray someone that they're not. And you've seen all the times they've been dysregulated. So having these power moves means you can reveal them a little bit faster and help everyone else see what you're talking about. When you show respect to someone else, one, in front of the court, showing respect is really valuable anyway. Even if someone doesn't necessarily deserve the respect, being able to show it in certain ways, whether that be respecting their boundaries or just saying you respect their opinion, what it shows to the court is that you're not controlling, that you're not dominating, that you're not aggressive, because respect actually shows that you're a decent person. It shows that you are more balanced and open minded. And so it's a really powerful move for everyone else to see who you are, but it also triggers that inferiority anxiety within the narcissist. And that could mean that they become dysregulated and lash out. They jump in and say something inappropriate, which just starts to plant those seeds that all might not be quite as they are saying it is. The second one is a very simple two-letter word, no. If you say no to a narcissist, then you're telling them, you don't control me anymore. You have no power over me. And again, this triggers that feeling of abandonment within them, because when they think they've lost control of you, then it feels like they were as a kid, that suddenly they've got no control over who's in their life and they're going to be left on their own because they think if they can control people, they can get them to stay in their life. So when you say no or a version of no, then you are saying to them, you have no power here anymore. And that is hugely triggering for them. And again, can dysregulate them, but also it stands you back in your power. Now, I do want to add a caveat to this, which is don't say no just for the sake of saying no. I would recommend kind of like an improv style of no, but. So particularly if you're, in mediation, but also in family court, if you're going to say no to something, try and follow it up with an alternative solution. So no, but. Again, you can do this with the narcissistic communication so that when you present your evidence or they present that you're being difficult, then the court will be able to say, well, they did offer a solution, a workable solution, a reasonable solution. So rather than just being a no, be a no, but. Again, they're all about control. So they're not interested in the but part. They are only interested in getting their way. So again, that will trigger them to be all demanding of, no, this is the only way it can be done. They don't want to know any other way of doing it. So you get to reveal a little bit more about their controlling nature. And it protects you because it's a boundary. No, it's a powerful boundary. And like I say, his versions of that is I won't, I can't, but ultimately it's the power of saying no to them undermines them and really triggers that feeling of being let down, being abandoned. And so their inner child comes out, and that's what causes the dysregulation that other people start to see. And the final one is when you show them complete indifference. That is the most painful thing you can do to a narcissist, because when you're showing them that you're still angry at them, or that, they can get to you in some way. They know they got power over you. They know that they can still pull at your strings, they can poke at you. Because to a narcissist, any attention is good attention. They've learned through their own childhood, even bad attention is at least attention. So when you're angry at them, they're fine with that because they're still getting to you. They're still getting supply from you. When you suddenly become apathetic towards them, you show them nothing you do bothers me anymore. And there's so much power in that for you and against them, because again, it triggers that feeling of inferiority, that feeling of loss. So it's a double whammy for them, which means that they will dysregulate much faster. And what you'll also find is because they realize that, oh my God, I've lost control, they'll go a bit crazy and start trying to press all the buttons at the same time. We've all done it. If your keyboard suddenly stops working, or you think it's your keyboard, you start banging all the keys and you look crazy because you're, just wait. That's kind of what they will do to you. They'll start banging all your keys to try and make you try and regain control over you by getting you to feel something, to feel anger towards them. But when you're apathetic, when you're just totally like, I'm not going to respond to that, when you're in control of your nervous system and you're able to fully regulate yourself, they have no power. You have all the power because you have power over yourself. You have power over your responses. And that massively dysregulates them and gives you the power. So if you want to explore more about your nervous system regulation and your trauma response so that you can learn how to do these power moves from controlling your own responses and your nervous system, I have a new assessment available for you, and it's looking at the patterns of self-sabotage within yourself and how this plays out in your case. I will leave the link for you in the description, but I do recommend you take a look at that. It provides you with lots of free resources and a thorough understanding of what's going on inside of you so that you can really start to embody the power behind these power moves and stop feeling like you're being controlled and manipulated by your ex, because actually you've taken the control of what's going on inside of you and removed all the buttons. The keyboard has no buttons anymore. They can't press them. They can't make you dance to their tune anymore because you've healed all of that. I hope you found that useful. If you have any questions or comments, do pop them below, and take care, everyone.